yawning.
I'm not looking at you when I'm pressing the thing.
Clearly. Hey, everybody. Welcome to My Worst Date. I'm Cassie.
I'm Keegan.
I'm Christina.
And it was even a good yawn. I didn't get any, like, it was just the beginning. I was like,
It's not even satisfying. You know, when I go to sneeze, like, and Anthony can tell I'm about to sneeze, he'll be like, God bless you. Gesundheit. And then it like dissolves your sneeze and then you can't sneeze. And I'm like, that is so
rude,
unsatisfying.
Yeah,
Rude.
I don't like that.
Not nice. I know.
I do have something I want to talk to you guys about. My mom, as you know, is entering the dating scene later in life. And an article I found in The Guardian, why has dating men in my 50s been such a dire experience?
Oh,
well,
jeez.
Yeah, the person is saying they're 54 years old and their experience of men for this time has just been really awful.
Yeah.
She's back on the dating scene after being married and that sort of thing. And she's just really, there's a lot of things to navigate that you're just not used to. You know, I think I knew about online dating and that sort of thing, but I'd never done it.
Right.
But I was also used to dealing with the internet
Digital
and phones and digitally.
Yeah.
But like for people like my mother, she's really struggling right now on dating apps and in the different ways that has morphed our conversations. You know, my mom's pretty straightforward. And when you write something through text, she'll take it at face value instead of having, I think, most of us, if we grew up like with the internet, we've developed kind of a thick skin or a healthy level of cynicism or skepticism where we don't take it.
Of literacy as well, right? Like,
Absolutely.
because I think because we have communicated in this way for so long, we don't take everything at face value necessarily. Like, we know that communicating through text is different than communicating face to face. So sometimes you'll say things that you wouldn't say in real life, and it's not meant to come across as rude. It's just like there's a certain amount of text literacy, right?
Yeah,
like,
absolutely.
That I feel like we just inherently know now because we've been doing it for so long. Like if you haven't been, you wouldn't. So I think that that's a big part of it. You know, being on the apps is hard for anybody, let alone people who, you know, need to call you to help convert to PDF, right? Like, so
exactly.
You got that already.
You're like, go to file. Go. It's funny though, because it's like, you saying that, I'm like, it's true though, because I think really my generation, like growing up, we were like one of the first generations to even have computers in school.
Yeah.
You know, pagers on cell phones and things like that. I mean, like we were the beginning of it. So imagine being an adult. These people were all adults already when this is coming out. So they did not grow up with us. They didn't get it when they were cognitively still learning things.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, and I think also we have talked about this before. We had somebody write in who was a woman who was in her 50s talking about dating in her 50s and how difficult it was because men in their 50s tend to want to date women 20 years younger than them, right? And this is just something that we see societally all the time. I was actually just thinking about this because there's that really popular men over 40s like smash or pass filter on TikTok right now, and which is fun and funny.
Okay.
But the women's version of that is women over 30.
Wow.
Like there's not a women over 40, it's women over 30, because for some reason we equate like that 10-year, like a woman who's 30 is equivalent to a man who's 40, you know?
Yeah.
So it makes
maybe
dating
maturity.
I mean, but it makes dating for women is that much more difficult because your pool is smaller because we've decided for whatever reason that women over a certain age are no longer desirable. And so men of that same age group are seeking women who are younger.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then my mom being in her 60s is like, you know, talking with other men in their 60s. And it's just, it's a completely different world from what she left when she was dating previously. I mean, these are a lot of the guys that she's talking to, if they're real, which there's so many
catfishes,
scams, so many catfishes. And on
would those be catfish?
Catfish.
And she's having difficulty like navigating. A lot of them just want to text. They just want like, and she's looking for a relationship, but a lot of these guys that she's talking to just want you know, a texting partner.
Yeah.
That's weird to me.
I know. And that's the thing. I think you're absolutely right. Like people want pen pals. They just are like in like pen pal space. It's
to
like,
be
that's not what
quite
this is
honest,
for.
I love the idea of a pen pal. I was just thinking that because I read Beautiful World, Where Are You by Sally Rooney, and it's these friends and they don't live near each other. So they write each other these like long emails that are like letters. And I was like, I actually kind of love that idea of like having a friend with whom you correspond via email and write long letters to, because that sounds fun to me.
Who's got time for that shit?
I would do it. I make time for my friends.
I love that kind of thing too. You know, I
do. We're the
I'm
same.
all like, just
I'm a
call me or
writer.
something.
We're very much.
I hate writing.
It's
That's
different.
it.
I like writing. It's different. So I like that stuff. But I'm like, if that's what you want, just get a pen pal. Like get somebody to just talk to. Don't be on a dating app, because the texting is fine, but the texting is meant to lead somewhere. And if you don't want it to, then put it in your bio that like, I'm not actually looking to
Here
date.
for pen pals.
I just want company or whatever.
Right.
Like I'm just seeking a, company.
Companion.
I think the other thing too is like the older that I get, I become less flexible in what I want to do.
Absolutely.
Yes.
I just
Yeah.
become more solid in being like, this is who I am. I like who I am a lot. And I think that will only increase the older I get. So I think dating does require some kind of like flexibility, or I think you need to compromise sometimes. And I think that becomes older for some people, at least when they age. What do you guys think?
No, I agree.
It becomes more difficult to compromise as you get older. Yeah, no, I think so. Especially since as I get older, I get more comfortable with being alone. Like, and I think some people maybe are the opposite as they get older. But for me, I'm so much more comfortable with being alone. Like I like my own company. I'm unbothered by my own company. And so I think if it's hard, or if it's going to require too much compromising that I don't want to do, then I'd rather just be alone.
Right.
It's like I'm fine with it,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I do think that it's probably difficult. I mean, I'm just, coming from like an empathic place, right? Of like, what would it be like to have lived with somebody for so long? You no longer are partnered up. You've spent most or the majority of your life as a two-person, like a part of a pair.
Right.
You're now alone. And not only are you alone just in a partnership way, you're probably alone in very many other ways.
Yep.
Because
you're right.
as a person in a relationship, you've developed couples friends. You don't have a bunch of single friends you're hanging out with. Couples start to become friends with other couples, and your kids are out of the home. Exactly. I can't imagine A, how lonely that is. B, how difficult it might be to, I don't know, maybe pen pal is something that some people need to start with first. They're like, I just need somebody to kind of connect with. I need somebody I can talk to who's not, I don't know, doesn't know everything about me already, doesn't have a narrative built around me and this person together. Yeah. Only knows me as part of a couple, doesn't know me. I think that there's a lot to contemplate, a lot to overcome being single at that point of your life.
Fault anybody wanting companship or wanting to be in a couple like at that age. That's not it at all. It's just that I feel like, to Christina's point, you get two people who have been in a consistent relationship maybe for years and years and years. It's worked this one way for all this time. Right. And it can be really hard to be flexible. Like you can become very inflexible. For sure. Like this is what a relationship is supposed to look like. So you get two people, you have to find two people who are willing to compromise and be flexible with each other as they're learning this new thing and as they're like breaking old habits. And like that's hard.
Yeah. Which is why I think, like I said, I see people who kind of are looking at it like, maybe I just need a pen pal for now. As not even maybe the baddest, worst idea.
Right. Yeah. But just be honest about it. Like we said, like put it in your bio that like, hey man, I was in a relationship, or I was in a marriage for 30 years and I'm just easing my way back in. And I would really like to just like make connections right now. Like that's where I'm at.
And these people are like, motherfucker, you're on our time. We know.
Yeah. Like, no, they're like, we want to smash. That's what we're here for.
Our time.
No, but she still deals with that kind of stuff too. So that was kind of like, oh man, like that doesn't go away. Like people like fucking fully grown adults in the world.
Yeah. Not even fuck boys anymore.
Boys.
Yeah. They're grown
fuck men. just freaking, it's so, I'm like, she's getting the same kind of like gross shit that I was getting on the apps and stuff. And I'm like, that's
a bummer.
a fucking bummer. So, wow.
Upsetting.
Well, Old Spice. I don't know. I would totally go for an Old Spice though. I mean, like, it's funny because you're right. Like, I think the older guys want to go for like younger girls.
And younger being like, 35.
Exactly.
40.
Yeah.
Honestly, truly.
But I'm like, I could see myself going for an older dude for sure.
Yeah, I mean, I have typically dated older.
Yeah.
That's kind of my my go-to.
My problem is I keep getting older and they stay the same age.
I mean, my husband's 11 years older than me, so I obviously don't have an issue. Yeah, I like.
But he acts like he's actually 11 years younger than you.
Yeah,
so that's,
it works out. Sometimes it works out that way. It's true. But yeah, we actually got a listener suggestion for an FMK that I feel like really goes with this theme. So they suggested that we fuck, marry, kill friend. So four of them, mustachioed gentlemen. So they suggested that we do Steve Harvey, which coming out the gate really strong.
Okay.
Trivia daddy Alex Trebek.
Okay.
Have you seen young pictures of Alex Trebek?
Curly haired and hot. I love that he was part of that trend where they were like, think he might be black.
Yes, pretty much. Yeah, his younger pictures, he looks very, very olive skinned, very handsome.
He's very handsome, very muscled.
Oh, shit. I'm about to look this motherfucker up.
He looks good. Burt Reynolds.
The original stash.
The classic
The
stash.
classic stash. And one fictional stash, Ron Burgundy.
Oh. I was like, you got so many more stashes out there. What about Dude Face from
Magnum.
Big Lebowski?
Magnum PI.
Sam Watterson.
Oh my God.
Oh, granddaddy.
Wait, hold on. I think Sam Watterson is the guy from Law and Order.
It's not that.
It is Sam, but it's
Sam something.
Hold on.
Oh shit.
He's got a great stash.
He has a great stash.
Yeah, what about Magnum too? Tom Selleck?
Oh yeah, Tom Selleck is. Who was the one? Was Burt Reynolds the one that posed for Playgirl?
The bear with bearskin rug. Oh my God, did you watch Minx, by the way?
Yeah, it was good.
Oh, it's so fucking good, dude.
Sorry, I got distracted.
Keegan, by the way, you should absolutely watch Minx.
I would love to.
Oh,
I know.
it's so good.
I keep getting distracted by like books and audiobooks and like work and stuff. And then I...
Work.
Ugh. Okay, hold on. Big Lebowski, Sam Elliott.
Sam Elliott. Okay,
Sam Watterson is hilarious. I would love to throw him in there.
He has a mustache.
Does not have a mustache.
I think that, I mean... I don't know this person. Are they flexible that if we removed Ron Burgundy?
No, we'll do the one that he suggested.
All right.
That's fine.
All right.
This is I'm marrying Alex Trebek right off the gate.
I mean,
I'm so sorry. He's like so smart, very smooth. Just like I will always have a place in my heart for Alex Trebek.
Me too. Oh my gosh, I love Jeopardy. I love Jeopardy.
I love him.
And I love
Jeopardy.
him. Oh my God, I love him. I also love, he would be great to marry because he's also the type of guy I can just tell who's going to like sit and have cocktails with you and like talk shit about everybody in the bar because Alex Trebek would get so shady.
Spicy. He would get so spicy with those
shady with some contestants on there where he just like drops casual like burns on contestants. And I'm like, oh, that would be so much fun to just like talk shit and roast people with Alex Trebek at the bar during happy hour. To get a couple drinks in him.
Get a drink, yeah.
And you know that he likes to have a couple drinks.
Yeah.
Like, and he's probably fun.
Yeah. He's got a record collection that you can fuck with.
He knows everything.
Yeah.
Because he's heard everything.
The problem is I see him as probably being a little mansplainy. That is my biggest pet peeve. Like that
really?
actually.
I don't get.
I don't get mansplainer from him. However, I think he could do it inadvertently because he knows so much. And I feel like once you know a lot, it's hard not to be like, actually, I know the answer to that.
You're like,
Of course you do.
Yeah.
but yeah, I'm still gonna marry him out of all. And I gotta say, I'm really struggling between wanting to fuck either Steve Harvey or Burt Reynolds. Can I go back in time and fuck young Burt Reynolds?
Of course. That's, I think, prime.
Yeah,
we're talking
going,
about prime.
Yeah.
I mean, Alex Trebek isn't alive anymore, so I think we're talking.
Oh, like not right now? Oh,
Good point.
obviously.
Yeah. And Ron Burgundy doesn't exist.
Yeah.
Also,
Yeah.
yes,
So-
I think.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we can suspend disbelief across the board here.
I know what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
I'm gonna fuck Burt Reynolds,
Yes.
young
Yeah.
Burt Reynolds.
Absolutely.
That bearskin rug.
Yes.
He looks like a bear skin. Like he's so hairy though. I'm just
is
like, he's
so
that man.
You just know it too. He's a sweater.
Oh, and it
And
gets
he
like
is
droplets
so-
on the chest
Yes.
hair. You know, like,
I listened to the book. Shoot, what's her name? They like me. They really like me.
Sally Field.
Thank you, Sally Field.
Mhm.
She dated him. He doesn't sound like the greatest guy.
Well, of course he's not. He was Burt Reynolds in the
It's true.
70s. So
Yeah.
you know that he did some shit. Like, you know he did. Like,
yeah.
he had that mustache in the 70s and he was wearing
Yeah.
those like hoochie daddy shorts.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
they were dating during that Smokey and the Bandit time.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
you know
Oh,
that
yeah.
ain't good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think I'm gonna fuck him. I'm gonna friend Steve Harvey because he is so
Funny.
fucking funny on
He
Family
also roasts
Feud.
his
Oh.
people. It's amazing. I love
So
it. Oh
funny.
God, it's so funny.
I love watching clips from that. He's really funny. I think that'd be a good friend
Yeah.
to
and
hang out with.
You know, he has the best barbecues.
Oh
You're gonna get invited to the best fucking barbecues. Like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
I'm into it. And he doesn't take himself too seriously either. Where like he's the type of person who's
And
gonna
he's
have the
from
kiss the
Cleveland.
cook
yeah,
apron on.
Kiss the cook.
You know it, yeah. Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I gotta kill Ron Burgundy. That's just I don't like a buffoon.
No.
Yeah,
And
You-
he's a
you do not.
misogynist buffoon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
He's a piece
Yeah.
of shit.
Yeah,
And I love that. You know I love that show.
I
Yeah.
know.
No, I love Anchorman. But fuck Ron Burgundy.
yeah,
There you go. We
Yeah.
said it here.
Yeah.
yeah.
You heard it here
I would
first.
never fucking say fuck.
Okay. I think I am also going to marry Alex Trebek. I just love Jeopardy so much. He was married to the same woman for like 35
gajillion
years
years, yeah.
or something. Yeah. And he just seems so genuinely sweet and beloved. And when all that was happening and, you know, all of the fans were showing their love for him, it felt to me that he was genuinely touched by it. And I don't know, it just warms my heart. And I just love Alex Trebek. So I'm going to marry him for sure. Oof. Okay. I'm also going to friend Steve Harvey just because I don't think I could fuck Steve Harvey.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like fucking your grandma's pastor. You know what I mean? Like I simply cannot. We're looking at a picture of young Alex Trebek and he looks magnificent. I love it.
I love it.
That 70s fro
Oh,
situation he's
Lord.
got going on. Incredible.
Oh,
Incredible.
no.
Yep. A stud.
Stud. So I am going to also friend Steve Harvey. Now here's where we're at. I just feel like both of these men are so hairy. It's truly what's holding me up here because I think that both Burt Reynolds and Ron Burgundy, it's going to be a very sweaty experience with either of them. But I think I'm going to fuck Burt Reynolds because I do think he's a fuckboy.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think it's going to be a one and done.
Yeah, definitely.
Like
Yeah.
he's going to leave before me, actually. He's like, I got to run. My housekeeper will let you out. Right. Like, I'm like, that's
Exactly.
actually,
It's
it's fine.
fine.
Yeah.
He's an
That's fine.
Aquarius, by the way. I had to know.
Burt Reynolds?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I mean,
I'm surprised by that, actually.
I am a little too.
Through me.
But
February 11?
Yes.
Yeah.
Is that Aquarius?
yes,
Yeah.
it's Aquarius. Yeah. But Ron Burgundy,
Ugh.
the issue here is that I feel like he might cling. I just
Yeah.
feel like he's gonna call me
A lot.
a lot. He's gonna talk about me on air when I don't respond to his phone calls.
Yeah.
And so I would rather just not engage.
Mm-hmm.
Not engage. So I think I'm gonna have to kill. I'm gonna do the exact same thing as Christina.
Yeah. I am going to marry Steve Harvey
There you go.
Fun.
You guys would have fun.
You are going to have so much fun.
He's a Capricorn, which is what sealed my decision.
Oh, and he knows how to make money. Yeah, Steve
he
Harvey
does.
it does not mess around about making money.
From Believeland, Ohio, which makes me think that we'll have sports in common. He's tall. He has a beautiful home.
Yeah.
He's fucking funny.
Yeah.
He is one of the original kings of comedy.
Looks good in a suit. Cassie's like,
it's not my
maybe
style.
not, maybe not.
It's not my style.
It does look like a church suit. It really does.
He
looks like he's going to church
pastor suit
all
for
the time. Yeah.
Yep.
Whoa, look at young Steve Harvey.
Ooh, show me.
Yeah, I just looked him up. So
Oh, he's cute.
He's cute.
Super
he's
cute.
his
Okay.
son is cute too. Have you seen his son?
No.
Uh-oh.
I'm a little creepy. I'm like, you sure you want to marry Steve Harvey?
Listen, no, I do. Because look, I think that
Those teeth, man.
Look.
Wow.
salt and pepper beard.
Oh, yeah, it's
Steve
super
Hardy.
cute.
Yeah.
I'm here for it.
He looks like
don't
he's
dislike it.
the best grandpa.
Oh.
Like, it looks like he gives really good hugs.
Oh, he's the best hugger. You just know it.
And he buys really good gifts for his
Wait,
grandkids.
what
you know?
is Michael B. Jordan dating his daughter?
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hi.
I know. I mean, see the people I get to hang out with?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, can you hook me up with
I'm sorry, you're already
Your
married
son-in-law?
to Alex. I am troubled with this next one.
Yeah.
Listen, we know.
I can see the gears literally turning
I
in your
know.
head
Like
right
you can
now.
see.
You're like the meme right now with all the math equations.
Yes, I am. Yes, 100%.
There's pros and cons. I feel like we should pause just to make a pros and cons list.
Yes, yeah. This is there's a lot of contemplation needed for this one. I'm gonna fuck Burt Reynolds. I don't like making good decisions all the time.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
It's going to be, you'll have one night. It'll probably be all right. And then you'll have a little bit of residual like suntan lotion on you. And then you go home. And
I'll
that's
probably
it.
have like a little bit of hair sticking to me.
God.
I'm showering immediately.
Well, you're showering in his empty house after he's already gone to work.
His house has orange carpet, the shag kind.
Yes.
Yeah.
It still has
Wood
brick
paneling.
brick and wood
yeah.
paneling, like the brick exposed.
Yeah.
Like
He might have
fireplace.
it done in like a mid-century modern. Just
no, for sure.
Yeah.
But he's
Which is
had
your
it
aesthetic.
since the mid-century.
Exactly.
So it's no
Yeah.
longer modern. It's just
There's
mid-century.
A lot of burnt orange and pea green.
Yes, he's got that fireplace, that like coved looking fireplace.
Wow.
Yeah, it's his bathroom is made with just like exposed rock.
Yes, definitely.
Yeah.
Oh, wow. Yes.
The shower that I'm going to literally cleanse my body of all of his oily hairs. But he's got a nice pool, I bet.
Oh, of course he does. You see his tan? He lays
has a
out there
nice
like
pool.
at least 5 hours every day.
And-
like,
yeah.
he's got one of those reflectors.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like what's his name? George
Hamilton.
Yes,
Yeah, exactly.
yes. I feel fine with this decision. This is fine. I'm going to be a friend of Alex Trebek.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Yeah, he again, you were talking about like parties, and I really feel like Alex would also throw. I feel like he's a
He'd
host.
throw a salon. He would definitely, he fucks with charcuterie for
Yes.
sure.
Yes. He's okay. They throw very different parties.
Yeah.
Steve Harvey and Alex Trebek. Alex Trebek is throwing a party that's like wine. Everybody is drinking
feel
wine
like-
and we're eating charcuterie and whiskey probably.
Yeah, I feel like yes, but I also feel like he probably also has a very nice pool
Yeah. Oh.
and has like probably a little like pool parties, not like woo, we're getting wasted pool parties, but nice casual, like how we do. You know what I'm
Alex-
saying? Like we're
yes.
sitting around the pool, floating,
Classy.
talking,
Alex
chatting.
Trebek is having a game night for
Oh.
sure. Like Alex Trebek is throwing a game night. Steve Harvey is throwing a pool party where people
Yeah.
are drinking like beer and like hanging out.
And fucking, oh my gosh.
And it's fun. They're all fun.
Yeah.
Like,
Come on over to my
these
house,
are
guys.
great choices. Yeah.
Well, and then like everybody else,
You gotta.
Burgundy.
I mean, you just have to. He's
he's a fictional character anyway. I do not feel bad about this.
obnoxious. He
It's
just
the
is.
worst. Honestly,
And
the
I
worst.
love Will Ferrell.
I would rather everything Veronica.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
Christina Applegate is
Oh.
a treasure.
Absolute treasure. I love her.
I have to say, I think if we had thrown in Sam Elliott or Tom Selleck, it would
Much
have
harder.
switched,
It would have been
switched
much
the game
more. It
up.
would have been very
Much
hard.
harder.
I actually think Sam Elliott is good looking.
Dude, back
Yeah.
in Roadhouse,
Yeah.
he was hot.
Yeah,
Tom
and he's
Selleck
still
though
hot.
too. Tom Selleck, hot.
Yes, Richard from Friends.
Oh, see now, and here's the thing. There is this part of me that my parents are like super love that show Blue Bloods, which I cannot watch.
Oh no, I don't want to think about him in that way. I want to think about him no later than Friends era.
I want a Magnum PI.
That's as far as I can go. I mean, I would still have fucked. I still would fuck Tom Selleck when he was on Friends. Like I was like, he's still was hot.
No,
like,
he's hot.
Yeah, he still looks good.
Yeah,
there is this little part of me that does make me think he looks like my neighbor's dad growing up. So there is that little.
So you got to work through that. Got to process that real quick.
You know, you can get this Tom Selleck poster on Amazon.
Oh my God!
Speaking of oil,
wow.
I mean, Tom Selleck or Burt Reynolds. I'm going Tom Selleck.
If I had to pick between them, I'm going Tom Selleck. Yes, 100%.
And Sam Elliott.
I love Sam Elliott. I think he's so hot. I think he's still hot.
Yeah.
I'm. Would smash. Smash.
I don't want to break a hip.
Listen,
for Sam Elliott.
Look, that's the risk they're taking. Fucking with me. You want to fuck with young women? You might break a hip.
You fuck
that's
around,
on you.
You might find out.
That is on you. You might have a heart attack. You might break a hip. That's on you. Okay.
Sir,
find out what you were signing up for. Okay.
Right.
I am young and flexible. That's on you.
God. Damn.
Oh man, spicy. Well, you guys want to take 5 and we'll come back with stories?
Mm-hmm. And we're back. All right, Cass.
Right. Okay, I will go first. I am warning you ahead of time. This is long.
Okay.
But I think it is worth it.
All right. A wild
going
ride.
on the journey.
Go. I was going to say, buckle up, going on a journey. About 5 years ago, I matched with a man on Tinder, and we quickly made plans to meet up at a local pub for some beers and bratwurst, and to see if we felt any connection in person that would lead to fucking.
Ballsy to eat bratwurst on a first date.
Truly, I really feel like it's a risky move.
Beer
but,
and bratwurst.
We're feeling bold.
He was the kind of guy whose life seemed enmeshed in the arts, which is almost always a surefire way to get under my skirt.
Oh, yeah.
In person, it quickly became apparent to me that this man had some serious emotional damage, probably some heavy drug problems, and he was actively leaking trauma everywhere.
Oh no!
So I think she found him at a used car lot. So
right away, like that's so much. No, I'm sorry.
Emotional damage.
I'm tired already. I can't handle it. I don't want to clean up your emotional spill.
I found him somewhat repulsive in person. Actually, the way he completely dominated our entire interaction by way oversharing his sob stories, inappropriately trashing his exes, and almost begging for attention by bragging about his, quote, art, which apparently consisted mostly of graffiti bombing trains and playing shitty music in a shitty band.
Oh, no. Stop it.
Triggered.
I was like, I should have given Christina a trigger warning on this entire one. I'm like, whoa, this is going to hit. Just wait.
All I'm thinking is that you said it's a long one, and I'm like, how are they still on this date? Because I would be like, all right, I think I'm going to go.
But I also had poor boundaries back then and didn't have any understanding of my own self-worth. So when he invited me into his home down the street, I went anyway.
No.
Sometimes you just got to look at the car crash. You know?
Cannot go to a second location with someone like this. I really feel like it's a...
Well, this might explain it. We drunkenly stumbled down.
Right.
Yeah.
We drunkenly stumbled down the avenue before reaching his front door, just blocks away from the Silver Lake Reservoir. I wish I had never stopped into the apartment, though, and the sex was absolutely terrible.
Of course it was.
Not even worth describing how shitty that fuck was. But the worst thing is that literally after he got off, without even bringing me close to an orgasm, he pulled out some old photos from his time in art school. My art school. Yes, that's right. This man chose this moment of his post-nut clarity to reveal through these pictures that he had gone to the exact same college I had, undergraduate degree in music, and at the exact time as me, as the comprehension starts to dawn on me.
Wait. He knew her.
He knew her.
He let out a laugh and said, "You don't remember me, do you?"
Oh, This immediately
chills.
became a trailer
This
for a
is a
scary
Dateline.
movie. Honestly,
I don't like this. I don't like this.
gosh. Who would be the terrifying person that would play?
You know what?
It's
probably someone who's too good looking, but they put glasses on him to make him look creepy.
Right. I think you nailed it. Penn Badgley, for sure. It's like a you situation.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
Yeah. Well, Jesus fucking Christ, my blood ran cold in that moment. Who the hell does that to someone? He knew exactly who I was because we had gone to college together well over a decade earlier.
Why wouldn't you bring this up?
And he hid that knowledge from me until after we fucked, then to reveal it the way he did with a note of pride, almost that back in our time together at art school, I barely knew him and never looked at him twice. Apparently, he had had a massive crush on me in the past and basically bragged to my face once we were naked together about, quote, finally getting the girl of his art school dreams.
That is fucking disgusting.
Whoa.
I am so grossed out by
It's
that.
disgusting.
That is so...
I literally wanted to throw up when I heard those words come out of his mouth. I honestly don't know what the hell is wrong with me, but I still gave him a second chance.
No.
Wow.
Why?
After that highly traumatic experience, I told you I had no understanding of my self-worth back then, didn't I? Well, that second date was even worse than the first, and we didn't even fuck, and that's how bad that whole situation truly was. Wait, Christina, trigger warning.
Okay.
He picked me up later that week on a Saturday afternoon, and we made plans for a Guillermo del Toro exhibition across town, and I was looking forward to at least getting my art on. As I buckled myself into his car, he gestured to the back seat with various pieces of music equipment and a few instruments.
I
Quote,
just got chills.
Hey, do you mind if we stop by the guitars? Do you mind if we stop by the Guitar Center first so that I can sell some of my old gear?
No. There are things in my life that I will never do again. And I kind of, when I remember back, I'm like, was this the period of my life when I was watching guys play GoldenEye? Was this the period of my life when I was watching guys play Tony Hawk Pro Skater? Was this the period of my life when I was watching guys at band rehearsal and stuff? And it's just like, it's ingrained in me. I'm like, I'm never again. Ever doing that again.
You actually met Eric and were like, do you play an instrument? And he was like, no. And you were like,
and you're like,
you wanna get married?
Interested.
Tell me more. Okay, strange choice, but whatever. I acquiesced and hoped it wouldn't delay our museum excursion too long.
Girl,
I was so fucking naive.
Guitar Center, you're in there for like an hour and a half at least.
Also, why is this? This is another one. I need to start keeping track so that I can make another TikTok about like things that are common on dates that really shouldn't be.
Going on errands?
Running errands. Why are we running errands before this date?
Plan your life better.
Honestly, the number of dates we've had where they're like, I just need to stop by Target real quick.
No, you
I
don't.
just need to drive my car through the car wash real quick. It's like, what?
Wait, car wash, I'm in. There is this part of me that is like a child that's just like, yeah, car wash.
Why didn't you do this beforehand?
Right.
Like, I don't understand.
Yeah.
Well, to start off, he wanted to go to the Guitar Center that was about 20 miles east of where we both lived, instead of the Guitar Center that was literally on Hollywood Boulevard on the way to the museum on the west side of town.
So you're in LA, like going anywhere 20 miles
out of the way.
In Los Angeles, 20 miles.
20 miles
all day.
That's an hour.
It's so long.
That so long.
Is
an hour drive.
No. Immediately no. Come pick me up later. We're not. In fact, actually, don't.
Just drop me off. Yeah, I'll Uber.
I'll Uber back home.
It just doesn't matter.
I didn't feel like arguing the logic behind his choice, so I gave in and headed off to sell his music gear. He proceeded to spend the entire 20-minute car ride. Okay, 20-minute ride.
Oh,
not
20 minutes, not 20
okay.
miles.
Okay,
Oh,
that's
okay.
what we
Big
got.
difference.
Okay.
Big difference.
Big, huge.
So you're talking like four miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or 3. 20-minute car ride talking about his latest graffiti adventure, bombing a few trains in an empty train yard near Ventura.
Cool, bro.
He was really setting the stage for another nightmare date, and I was already beginning to regret my choice in life by the time we parked.
Yeah.
He asked me to help him haul some of his
I
heavy-ass music
fucking
equipment.
knew it.
and instruments into the store.
No.
Where the counter guy informed us that there were already 2 customers waiting for their gear to be inspected and bought before they would even be able to get to us.
I'm dressed for a date.
Christina has actually... she's
in
actually shut down.
She's in the acceptance stage. I'm in the outrage stage. Christina has fully accepted the situation.
I have actually left my body.
I was just going to say, I feel like when you see people slip into another personality, that's what's happened to Christina.
Yeah,
she's actually disengaged entirely.
Exactly. I'm floating up there looking at myself.
Yes.
Looking down at myself.
Who are we speaking to right now, Christina?
Exactly.
Christina doesn't live here anymore.
What? Christina doesn't go to Guitar Center anymore.
Red rum.
Oh, Jesus. Just my goddamn luck. Fine. We resigned to wait the 30 to 40 minutes for that to happen. So we stepped out of his van and got super faded before coming back into the shop to roam around high and play with whatever instruments we could get our hands on.
That should have been plan A.
Just get high.
Get high and go play with instruments at Guitar Center. Fine. Like,
all right, well, if I'd only known that was the plan, fine. I have a little bit of musical ability, mostly in stringed instruments, and we spent about 30 minutes riffing on guitars, basses, and ukuleles before the guy at the counter called my date up to inspect and walk through his gear together. I wandered around the store as the process began, eventually finding my way to a small display of theremins, an instrument that I have always been fascinated with. Christina, did you write this?
I must have done it in a fever dream.
Yeah. As I started tinkering around and coaxing some wild wailing sounds from those Moog machines, I heard a few voices growing louder in the background.
oh no, he's arguing
And he's
about
getting into a fight.
Christ.
Now this is a story I've written in.
Stop it. There is nothing more embarrassing.
Oh.
I don't want to be there for that. I will sneak out the back. You know I don't like an uncomfy situation.
Yeah.
And like you arguing with the guy at Guitar Center because you think that your like shitty fucking
stuff
Fender is worth more.
Yep.
No, we can't.
My date was arguing with the counter
No.
about his quality and condition of his used guitar. At this point, I started seriously considering just walking out of the store and leaving the whole scene behind me.
Ma'am, I support you. You get your life. Get out of there.
My desire to spend any more time with this man had, with the accumulation of his actions, suddenly plummeted to 0. I wasn't even excited about visiting the art exhibit anymore.
Yeah,
instead, I
want to
just
go home.
refocused on the theremin that I was playing around with, waving my hands and pretending I was a rock star, Laurie Anderson, while hoping that this nightmare would never end, or would end soon. Sorry. Half an hour later, we hauled a few pieces of his unsold gear back to his van and jumped back onto the freeway. It was well over 2 hours since we initially picked me up for our date.
We're long enough. We're done.
We did the thing. It's enough.
Yeah.
And I told him I had a headache coming on and that I'd like to go back home now and that maybe we could just check out the museum in another day. He flipped the fuck out. Of course he did.
You know what? You're lucky I even said we might check out the museum on another day.
Yeah.
Like, you're lucky that I even said that much. Okay?
And that's just me being nice because we're not.
No.
We're not going to.
I just want to go home.
Literally want to go home.
Yeah.
And I don't owe you an explanation either for why I want to go home. I'm done. I want to go home. Take me home.
Yeah.
That's it.
The end. He pretty much pulled a toddler level tantrum, and it scared the hell out of me to see this man lose his shit while driving. This is the exact moment when I actually began to fear for my safety.
Yes.
He proceeded to alternate between being furious at my request and begging me to reconsider, saying that he'd stop at a 7-Eleven to pick up some Tylenol and that everything would be fine.
Why do people think that works? Why do they think throwing a temper tantrum, making me scared, and then simultaneously begging me to stay?
Right.
Why would you think that would work?
It's just a complete and utter lack of empathy. An inability to like put yourself in someone else's shoes. Like it's just complete narcissism.
You guys are like literally wildly reading ahead. It's so like every time.
Because we've all lived the same
refused to
life.
display any empathy for me, and I felt bullied and scared as he escalated the situation while flying down the freeway. Eventually, I broke down and agreed to stop and get some aspirin and coffee to help with my headache so that he could get what he wanted. Another opportunity to fuck me, I'm sure, but no means no. And he didn't understand yet that the moment he pushed back against my desire to end the date, he killed the possibility for any future chance to see me naked ever again.
That's the thing. It's just like, if honestly, because she'd already given him more chances than he deserved. Like already. If he had just said, when she was like, I want to go home, if he had just said, oh, you know what? Okay. Like, I totally understand. I hope you feel better. I'm going to drop you off. That would have earned him so many points. That would have potentially gotten him
actually might have
another date. Right? Like,
sorry, this turned into a bummer. I should have done this in a different time.
Yep.
1,000 ways would have actually gotten him another date.
Yes.
But now,
because you're displaying some awareness. You care about her well-being. Because if she has a headache, why would you want, if she's in pain, like, why would you want her to stick that out? It really does display a complete lack of awareness and empathy for the other person involved. Like,
no, it's all about him.
Asshole.
Absolutely is. I felt immense relief wash over me as we rolled onto the city streets from the concrete highway, and I seized my chance to escape when, just as a few blocks away from the liquor store, we stopped at a red light. Without a moment's hesitation, I unbuckled my seatbelt, grabbed my purse and sweater, opened the car door, and took off running. I don't even remember if I slammed the door shut.
Yes
Behind me. I heard his angry yelling fade away as I put as much distance between me and him as quickly as I possibly could. I eventually ducked into a shop to catch my breath and let the adrenaline work its way through my body. I was starting to shake from the entire experience and immediately began doing some deep breathing to help keep me from going into a panic attack. The store clerk must have thought I was a crazy woman in the moment, but after I had a chance to calm down and explain what happened, he brought me into the back room to relax in safety before I eventually felt well enough to handle hailing an Uber home. To this day, I am still immensely grateful that the clerk understood my fear and gave me the space I needed to recover from that traumatic experience before helping me.
Look at that. Yeah. Look at what empathy and a little bit of
understanding and compassion can do.
Yeah. He gave me back a sliver of faith and humanity with his actions, and at least helped me to arrive home with a tiny slice of comfort in my heart.
Yeah. I know it's too much to ask, probably, that this person had any amount of self-awareness at all to reflect on their behavior. But I would hope that somebody literally fleeing your vehicle should make you reflect on your own behavior and choices.
Absolutely.
I would hope that that's the case. I doubt it with this particular person, but we can hope.
That was a journey.
Wow. That was wow.
I was like, she had me, opened up the door, ran out of the car. I was like, yes, ma'am. It's everything everything that you wish in hindsight that you had just done on like a date or two.
Oh yeah, just gotten the fuck out of the car.
Fuck out.
No, I respect her so much for doing that. Amazing. Okay, so this is from a longtime listener and patron. So they wrote in, I spent most of the pandemic working on myself and trying to heal from a situationship that ended in heartbreak. I was casually on the apps while we were in quarantine, and I chatted with some guys here and there, but nothing blossomed. Fast forward to this year, 2022, I have this newfound confidence and I'm feeling great about myself and my life. I was never one to date because it's rare for me to even be remotely interested in someone. And when I have found someone I'm interested in, I get invested and end up with a broken heart, the situationship I mentioned previously. Anyway, this new empowered feeling ignited something in me and made me want to be one of those girls that dated around and had many suitors.
Yeah.
I get it.
Now's my time.
I get it.
Yeah.
So
it's
to
like
the
hot
apps
girl
I went.
summer.
Yes. Amen. Mm-hmm. So to the apps I went, LOL. There's an app I was introduced to by some friends called Field. I was under the impression that Field was an app only for couples looking for a third, or a third looking for couples, since that's what my friends in relationships were using it for. I had since been corrected and told that singles were on there as well. My friends gave great reviews for it and said it was like adult Tinder. People might be there for casual sex, but it wasn't a transactional thing. It wouldn't be like those typical wham bam thank you ma'am type of interactions you usually get from Tinder.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's just more honest.
Yeah, it's more eyes wide open.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Whereas Tinder, they're like, oh yeah, no, I totally want a relationship, and it ends up being fuck boys. For the most part, Field is pretty honest when people are out there just looking for casual hookups and stuff. So I appreciate the honesty.
Yeah, so you can just seek what you're seeking, right? So like if you're seeking a relationship, you'll find other people who are honest about like, I'm seeking a relationship too. And if you're not, you know what you're looking for.
Right.
Yeah. I matched with this guy. We'll call him Paul. You'll see why in a minute. And he seemed pretty chill.
Because his name is Paul?
I wasn't particularly excited about meeting Paul. I hadn't been all that excited to meet most men before my dates. If someone was interested in meeting, seemed decent, made plans with me, then I didn't see any reason why I couldn't give someone a chance. I could be pleasantly surprised. Paul was a bit late meeting me. It was to be expected. I live in a busy area in LA and parking is hard to find. I chose a place close to me because A, if things are going well, I could get him back to mine quickly so we can fuck. Or B, I'm having the worst night and I want to literally peel my skin off and I need to get home ASAP to decompress. So it's a good idea.
These all track.
Yep.
So right off the bat, I'm thinking, yeah, I'm not going to kiss this guy. He's pleasant enough and the conversation is flowing, but I'm not at all attracted to him. It didn't feel right to have this date progress any further once we finished up our drinks. The bar is pretty dark and our tables are lit with a single votive candle in the center. The light hit his face in a certain way and I thought, wait a minute, he kind of resembles Paul Rudd. Okay, maybe I'll kiss him later. We'll see. The one votive candle, one angle, one specific
end up in a
angle.
relationship with somebody, you're like, you're always controlling the lighting.
light-
You're like,
keep
can
the
you
light-
angle your head? Like,
Put right there.
don't move.
there.
Don't move. Don't stop.
I'm attracted to you right now. Anyway, Paul and I finish our second drink and he asked if I want another or if I'd be interested to go to his and smoke. I mentioned earlier that I usually only have a couple of drinks when I'm out and that I usually don't mix weed and alcohol. I had a bad experience getting crossfaded one time at a party. We can all relate.
Yep.
We've all been crossfaded and it's...
I can't smoke after I've drank. I have to
forget it.
smoke first.
Yeah, I mean, I don't
one or
smoke
the other.
at all anymore, but when I did, smoking after drinking is the worst.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, the
You done.
worst.
You done.
Done,
Yep.
son. The world is spinning.
Yeah.
I agreed to go to his and hang for a little. To do what, I wasn't entirely sure. We got up to the counter to pay our tab, and wouldn't you know it, his card got declined. There was a slight ping that went off in my head, but I quickly let it go because things happen, and this isn't necessarily a red flag. I would like to point out that I know this person, and she is also a Pisces, and I'm like, yes, making up all the excuses as you go.
But also,
I'm sure there's a reason.
Also, I'm the same way.
Yeah. Which agree, because there is oftentimes
Because we've
shit
all
does happen.
actually had that happen.
Yeah,
where we're
shit
like,
does
no,
happen.
I have money. I promise I have money. I swear to God, I have money.
That has been me where I'm literally like, I'm about to show the checkout person at the grocery store my bank account balance. Like, I'm like, look, there's
Look at
money
this
in there.
money.
I'm telling you, there's money in there. Right
You
now.
show the people waiting behind you. See, I have
It's
money.
not me. It's not me.
I have money.
It's not my fault.
Oh, I'm sweating.
We've all
Truly been there.
We've been there.
Ugh.
He didn't seem that upset about it and just turned to me saying, "Ah, damn, I'm sorry. Do you mind paying?" I told him it was no problem and that things happen. As we were walking to his car, he kept going on and on about how bad he felt that I had to pay. I kept trying to reassure him that it wasn't a big deal and not to worry about it. He then went on to say this happened recently when he was at a Chipotle a month ago in Baltimore. He said that he was at the register to pay for his burrito bowl and his card was placed on a hold there. I guess he was thinking by telling me this, I would think that it's his bank having issues and not him. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
But it raises some red flags for me.
and
where I'm
here's
like,
what she says.
you don't have your shit together.
Don't banks put a hold on your card for outstanding purchases and not $7 burrito bowls? I asked. I was under the impression that while banks ask you to inform them when you're traveling, they usually won't put a hold on your card for small purchases. I could be wrong though. We finally got to his car, and at this point, I was ready to go home. I wasn't turned off that his card got declined, but the fact that he needed to give me a story about why he was having card problems and that he apparently went into this date fully aware of the card problems and chose to chance it. Also, most people, especially if they're over 30, have a few cards they can try, right? Whatever. I thought the best thing to do would be to get to his, fake a stomachache, and then call an Uber home. I couldn't tell him I was ready to go home while we were already in his car because then he would know where I lived. I wasn't getting scary vibes from him at this point, so I waited patiently in the passenger seat until we reached our destination. We got to his and he pulled out his phone to try and Venmo me. Surprise, the card attached to his Venmo was the one that wouldn't work. So he offered to send it once the new card came.
Yeah,
I wasn't expecting to see those $80-something again. So I just said,
that's a
sure,
lot.
it's LA, drinks.
Yeah, it's true.
I could see it. It could add up.
That's 2 rounds for
Yeah,
two
that's
people,
true. That's
honestly.
true. Yeah.
So I just said, sure, and followed him inside. The house was huge. He shared it with 3 to 4 other people. There was a roommate that was home, which was a relief for me. The eerie vibes started to really sink in after the long card explanation from earlier, and I felt a bit more at ease knowing someone else was in the house. He gave me a tour, and I mentioned that this house would be perfect for a murder mystery party. He chuckled, and I thought, shit, I either just gave him an idea or he knows I've already caught on his plan to murder me.
Oh, shit.
We went out to the balcony to smoke. What a mistake. I only had 2 tequila drinks and barely felt tipsy at that point, but somehow the one hit from the pipe really sent me over. He asked if I wanted to come to his room and listen to some music.
Okay.
I want to listen to some music. I was cold. And
I got Pink Floyd.
Of course you do.
I was cold and wasn't interested in smoking anymore, so I agreed. We both sat on the opposite sides of the bed after he put on some whack-ass music.
Oh my God. It's not Pink Floyd.
It's not Pink Floyd.
No. I was there for a minute and then...
You had me?
He's like, Insane Cloud Posse, you were on, right?
Magnets, how do they work? I was really high at this point and just looked straight ahead. I knew by us going into his room, he was planning on us hooking up. He no longer looked like Paul Rudd once we got out of the dimly lit bar.
They never do. They never, ever look like Paul Rudd.
And they never do. And I was afraid to look him in the eye. The weed was taking over at this point. No. I was in that be chill, don't let on that you're too high mindset. We've all been there. And was relieved when we started discussing a band we both liked. I thought, great, we can talk about this for a while and he won't know that I'm terrified of him and got too high. For the record, I was never in any danger. I know the majority of it was in my head, but the fear came from really not being attracted to this guy. And
also high.
And high.
Yeah, high.
You start to spiral.
Yeah. Yes, that's why I don't smoke. Like that's the paranoia. Right. I knew that if I turned my head to face him to talk like a normal person, he would make that dumb guy face and lean in to kiss me.
Oh, no. Oh, no. Relatable.
We know.
Relatable content.
Oh, no. And man. Also just the vision of her having this whole conversation, just like looking straight ahead, like not turning to look at him like at all. It's really funny.
Don't look at me.
Don't look at me. Don't look. I did not want that. So that's why I stayed facing forward the entire time. Once we exhausted that topic about the band we were discussing, he went on to say, we could keep talking about insert band here, or I could just kiss you.
No. Let's keep talking about that band.
I wish I could show you the face I made, all while not looking this man in the eye. I cannot hide my face when I'm feeling a certain way. So I'm sure you can imagine how I looked when this man suggested us kissing. There was a brief uncomfortable pause and he said, or not.
Well, at least he saw your face.
I decided to come clean and say that I made a mistake smoking after 2 drinks at the bar. I was a bit embarrassed, actually, since it had been only 1 hit, and I'm no stranger to weed, but here we are. I said I think it would be best if I just called an Uber and went home. Keep in mind I was getting a bit freaked out by him, so this is most likely coming from my high brain. I don't know how to explain, but I felt a change in the air. He kept a smile the whole time, but seemed annoyed that I was leaving. He felt very nice guy TM, but one that would be smiling and a creepy, comforting smile all while murdering you.
Oh, God.
Oof.
He went on to say, this sucks. Everything has been going wrong tonight. My card got declined and you had to pay. You told me you don't smoke if you've been drinking and I offered it to you and now you want to leave. A perfect summary of the evening.
There we go.
Yeah, you nailed it.
I tried to put it all on me because my high ass was getting freaked out. I kept saying, it's my fault. I shouldn't have smoked and I'm high and I won't be much fun. It's best if I go. The Uber finally arrived and he walked me downstairs. I hugged him goodbye, walked out to my Uber, turned around to wave like I usually do when I'm leaving someone, and the front door was already shut.
Yeah.
He was like, bye.
Okay, perfect.
I called my best friend on the ride to give her all the details. Fast forward a couple of days later, I reached out to see if there were any updates on his card. He said it should be coming in a couple of days, then asked if I just wanted the reimbursement or would I be interested in a second date as well. I told him that just the reimbursement would be great.
Yeah, you'll never hear from him again.
I got too high that night and it freaked me out a little, but it was nice getting to know him at the bar, is what she told him. He didn't respond. At that point, I thought, What a dick. So to end my discourse with him, I said, just send me the amount for his drinks. He sent me his share immediately.
Oh, wow.
Which props to him.
Yeah.
I did not expect that. I was like, you are never seeing that money again, ever.
Yeah.
It gave me a bit of a laugh for calling the night. I hope you ladies enjoyed my tale.
Wow.
Oh, wow. I really did. That was switcheroo.
When you get too high,
Yeah.
that's
In a stranger's house. That's just, It could,
scary.
It could get.
I don't smoke because I'm paranoid anyway. I'm anxious.
Did get out of the whole situation.
Yeah.
Fairly unscathed across the board,
totally.
but that's
But just imagining her staring
Yeah.
straight ahead. Especially since I just watched Nope. So you'll get that after you've seen it or if you have. But it's very funny. Okay. I got mine from Reddit. She said, met guy who worked in the same building as me, but not the same company. We had seen each other a lot and became friends, and then he admitted he was into me. Fast forward 2 years, consisting of him chasing me, and I finally agreed to date him. That's never
That's
a good thing.
It's not good. 2 years.
Wearing someone down.
You
She's
know-
just like,
yeah.
there's nothing on, I guess.
I guess I'll call you.
He's my first relationship and it's going good. 3 months in, we're both looking at his phone together for something. I don't remember what. And a message pops up from another girl talking about looking forward to seeing him and calling him baby.
Okay.
Of course, I immediately start questioning him. I have always been monogamous and he knew this from the beginning and agreed to it. He denies everything and claims he doesn't know what she's talking about.
Deny.
Doesn't even know who she is.
No, wrong number.
It wasn't me.
Wrong number. Who dis?
I have a nagging feeling, so I call. You have a nagging feeling. A text comes up on your.
You saw it.
You saw it. It's not a feeling. It happened.
I've got a hunch.
I got a hunch. I got a nagging feeling, so I call BS and ask him. So if I get her number off your phone and start texting her, she won't know who you are. This ballsy ass man actually had the audacity to call my bluff.
I love when people do this.
Yep.
It is amazing. They're just keep denying.
Just keep denying.
You just can't go wrong.
Lies. Never.
Nope. Lies. All lies.
Lies.
So I did. I explained I was his girlfriend of 3 months after him chasing me for 2 years and said that he was denying knowing who she was after I had seen her last message to him. She responded very confused and hurt, telling me, well, I'm his girlfriend of 3 years.
Damn.
Oh my God, that is so fucking bold that he was like, yeah, go ahead, text her.
I know. I just imagine for both the people. Dude, this fucking guy.
I hope these girls are best friends.
I
now.
hope so too.
Yeah.
I let him know what she was saying, and he continued denying knowing anything about her.
Okay.
She offered proof of their relationship.
Okay.
She had receipts. I told him she's sending me this proof. She says she has about your relationship. It's your chance to come clean. This dumbass rode these lies all the way out until he absolutely couldn't anymore.
Oh my God.
Me and her sent proof of each of our relationships with him back and forth to each other, consisting of sexual role plays, I love yous, all kinds of other messages and phone calls that you would only make with a significant other.
Not a puddle of sweat on the floor. Like the way that I would be like, like it would just be like, what is that? Like Jordan Peele gift where it's just like water.
Just water.
Oh, Jesus.
Turns out he had a long distance relationship with her for 3 years, and 2 of those years he spent chasing me and God knows what else, all while claiming he was single and I was the other woman.
Wow.
Needless to say, we didn't work out.
No, you don't say.
I hope you have a new best friend. I would like to watch that buddy comedy
Honestly.
soon.
But imagine like, okay, there's like proof here. And he's like, she doesn't know what she's talking about.
No, I don't know
so
her.
bold face like that.
Her.
I've never been able to do that.
It's incredible. I mean, wow.
There is a new buddy comedy in this.
Yeah.
Did I just spend the last like 20 seconds building it in my brain?
Yeah.
Definitely.
I love it. Well, you guys want to take 5 and then we'll come back with the Tainted Love?
Sounds good.
Yes.
All right. Okay. And we're back. So
I know you're excited about this one. I could sense it earlier this week whenever you were texting us.
It's because I told you guys so we keep an ongoing list in our Google Drive of like our resources, like what we've been
our sources, our FMKs, whatever.
Exactly. Yeah. So I'm literally doing the research and just adding new resources like every 3 minutes. I'm like, there are like literally 12 resources in this story. Like my sources list is strong this week.
That is really commendable because for me, my brain starts getting distracted after like 3 or 4. Yeah. Like I'm like, I can't.
Well, there's a lot to unpack here. And I kind of went in a different direction this week than what we normally do for Tainted Love. I am doing a spotlight character for my Tainted Love this week. So it's not just one of his relationships that I'm going to focus on, although there is definitely one that is worse than some of the others. But I'm going to tell you about the prolific author, Norman Mailer.
Oh, okay.
How much do you guys know about Norman Mailer?
Not a ton.
Quite a bit.
Oh, good.
Yeah, not a lot for me.
Well, then you know that this journey is going to be gross.
Oh,
and Keegan, you're going to hate it.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's pretty awful.
He's a bit of garbage.
Yeah.
Right.
And I'm going to tell you all about him.
Okay.
So he was born Nachum Malek Mailer, January 31st, 1923 in Long Branch, New Jersey. His family moved them to Brooklyn. So he and his sister moved to Brooklyn. That's where he grew up, went to school. He went to a boys' school, and then he entered Harvard College in 1939 at just 13 years old.
Whoa, buddy.
Imagine. Or 16. I said
Jesus.
13. I meant 16.
There is
16.
a 13-year-old that just got into medical school.
I saw that.
That's
I think it was like
wild.
Harvard Medical School or
What,
something.
the Doogie Howser.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be smart to get into Harvard. You have to have money to get in Harvard anyway. But 16 in Harvard, that's.
Well, she's 13. This girl.
Okay, that's even more impressive.
Yeah.
But still, back then, 16 going to Harvard's pretty impressive, right? He enrolled into the engineering courses. He was pretty smart with math and sciences, so he went into engineering, but he quickly was drawn to writing, and by the time he was 18, had published his first short story. So writing was something that he was just drawn to. He was very much somebody who also challenged himself. Sometimes I think that when you can look right here and see what this person's going to be. You can look at somebody like this and be like, wow, super smart, intelligent, probably beyond his own good, challenges himself. I had heard something that had said that he'd challenged himself to writing like so many thousand words a day. So like he's that kind of person who always is like going to be pushing best, right?
Oh, he's Capricorn.
Yes.
No, he's Aquarius.
Is he? January 21st?
31st.
31st.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
31st.
I was going to say.
Yeah,
I still feel Aquarius energy.
Yeah.
Like it's
I do.
do.
Especially she tells you more.
Yeah, you'll see it. After he graduates from college, he marries his first wife, Beatrice B. Silverman. So his first wife, B, they met right out of college. She went to school in Boston, and they had met in Boston.
I love that name for a girl.
Beatrice. I love it too. I love it.
B. I think that's so cute.
And you can shorten that all kinds of ways. You can also be, I think, in Trixie called Midwife. Trixie. Yeah.
Love that. Yeah. Beatrice. Oh, I love that. Yeah. You know what I love too for like a boy's name is Sunny.
Sunny.
I don't know why.
Like Sunny
Sunshine.
Bono. Oh, like Sunny with a U.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, that's really dumb.
So cute.
That's a very hippie name. All right. Anyway, they eloped. In fact, I think that, but they both had thought maybe neither of their parents would be super interested in this combination. B. Silverman, they marry in 1943. Quickly thereafter, he was actually drafted into World War II. At the time, he tried to get out of it, being like, I am going to be writing a huge novel, and it would be so silly for me to go into the military.
I feel like the U.S. government doesn't give a fuck about that. I feel like you got to come up with bone spurs or something else important, to get you out of service.
And they, that hit.
Sorry.
Triggered. They didn't care, turns out. So they did send him off to the war, and he ended up serving in the Philippines and Japan. Beatrice herself was also decided that she was going to serve as well. So she went into the U.S. Navy as a lieutenant in the Women's Accepted for Volunteer Emergency Services, or WAVES.
Okay.
How interesting, right? Huh. Yeah, so good for her. Anyway, during this time, when he was in the service, Mailer ended up writing hundreds. According to Wikipedia, over 400 letters that she kept. These were basically the notes that he ended up using for his very first book. So it's all of his experiences in the Philippines, Japan, in real time, wartime, what he was experiencing.
I'm not going to lie to you. I mean, I know I already said it on this episode.
I know.
I love a letter. I would love for somebody to write me letters. Like,
Dear Keegan.
would love it. Like, first of all, I love getting mail. Who doesn't?
Like real mail, though, not like, I can't remember the last time I got something real in the mail that wasn't a bill or some kind of ad.
My grandma writes me letters, and I actually,
that's adorable.
She does, and I was
Bless
like,
her heart.
I had decided recently, I'm like, my remaining grandparents, I'm like, I should challenge myself to write them a letter every month, both of them. I'm like, I should write them a letter every month because they like to write me letters, and I'm like, I should write them letters every month. But I love it. There's something about that like written correspondence that I'm like, I like it.
I mean, 400
It's
letters.
a lot. Okay, it is a lot. I'm not gonna lie.
I mean,
It's a lot of letters.
I mean, that's actually, but that's really impressive. And I think it has a lot to do with, again, the challenges he's made for himself, but he also wants to kind of keep track of his wartime experience. It's these letters, though, that do end up serving for the notes for his first book, The Naked and the Dead, which was published when Mailer was just 25 years old. This is like, he comes out of the military, puts himself to work to write the book. He and B end up going to actually France for a while, both using like the GI Bill to put them through college during the time. And he moved back when his book was being published at 25. I mean, this is a lot of life happening for somebody who's just turned 25. The book is a fucking hit. Like, it is a New York Times bestseller. It's on the list for 62 weeks. It's his only novel to hit #1, and it's still in print today. So The Naked and the Dead, I think they actually made a movie that was not very good about it, but the book itself is still, I think, pretty well read.
Yeah, I haven't read that one. I feel like he wrote a true crime book that I read when I was younger. It's on the tip of my tongue, but I can't remember.
I don't think I've read anything by him. I have to say, I'm very just for me and like what I like to read, because I do read a lot and I enjoy reading, but like I'm very hesitant to read like old male authors.
Yeah, you're not gonna. He's not for you. When I tell you he is not for you, trust me when I say.
I believe you completely because it is like a hit or miss. Like I go into it with a certain amount of like, I'm gonna have to forgive a lot, aren't I? Like I felt that way about like Hemingway too. I'm just like, you can acknowledge that this is like brilliantly written and still be like, but like,
no,
there's some shit in here that I don't like.
He becomes strongly problematic, and during like the second wave feminist movement becomes like almost like completely outspoken against the feminist movement. He's very anti-woman. He's kind of a real piece of shit. You're gonna find out more that you'll just love. You aren't gonna want to read his books. Norman and B did have one daughter. Her name was Susan, before eventually divorcing in 1962. This was not the most contentious divorce, though. His relationship, comparatively to that of his next wife, this is going to be the lightest of the notes. Let me just put it that way.
Yeah.
Any of his wives.
I mean, sometimes things just don't work out. And if they had an amicable divorce, it's great.
Yeah, they were young. They were married for like 19 years. So.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite a while. He ends up, so the thing of it is, the big thing here is that Norman is kind of a habitual ladies' man or philanderer. I mean, he's not loyal. Never has been, and you will find
he's a fuck man. We get it.
Yeah, never will be. His most contemptuous relationship, though, might be with this wife that I'm about to tell you about now. Norman moved back to New York, where he met Adele Morales. She's an artist who studied under Hans Hofmann. Morales, before meeting Mailer, had been involved with Jack Kerouac and was seeing Edwin Fancher at the time that she met Mailer. So Fancher and Mailer were actually two of the people along with 2 other men who became the founders of the Village Voice. Mailer and Morales kind of had a kind of quick and fast meeting. Like they met and immediately were like, we're in love with each other. And they marry very quickly. They get married in 1954. So this is only about 2 years after he gets divorced from his first wife. So there's a little bit of time here.
Wait, I thought his first marriage, you said, ended in 62.
52.
Oh, 52.
52.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, I was like, when you said 19 years, I was like, that doesn't seem right. But
nope.
Yeah,
either way,
52.
they were married for a good chunk. Yeah.
Notoriously, this relationship was fueled by alcohol, and it was tumultuous, to say the least. Like there's the stories of these two was constantly about their bitter fighting.
I have to say, do we ever think we're going to get to a spot where it's just like, y'all could just like not get married?
Yeah.
Like if you're happy, like if you're like, oh, we're having this whirlwind romance and it's awesome, you don't have to get married right away.
The
like
ante.
Stop it. Like what are you doing? Like just keep doing what you're doing. Whenever they're like, oh, it was passionate and we got married immediately and then we fought all the time. It's like you could still be together and have all the fights you want and not be married.
And not bring the government into it.
It's like, what are you doing?
Yeah, you really didn't. This is wife number 2, though. So he I think not only does he love, he loves being married, I believe.
I think a lot of people feel that way. And I'm just like, you could just
not.
You're just not.
Look at fucking Goldie Hawn and Kurt Russell, man. That's couple goals right there.
There you
For
go.
Sure. Exactly. Again, their relationship contemptuous, and they literally like constantly were at odds. But their relationship really comes to a head in November of 1960, where at a party that Mailer is throwing for the boxer Roger Donahue at his apartment. He's throwing this big birthday party, but at the birthday party, he's also decided that he is going to, like, informally with amongst his friends, announce that he is going to be running for the New York mayor position.
All right.
Yeah.
This fucking guy. I know who this guy is.
Yeah, this is so smart.
Oh, yeah. You were so smart.
Yeah.
You want to talk about a well, actually. He's the king of it.
King.
Ew. Hate him.
Yeah. The party was held at the Mailer's 94th Street apartment, and it was a packed affair with over 200 guests. Imagine 200 people in a New York City apartment.
Oh, gross.
I know. I have a feeling his apartment's probably bigger than most New York City apartments.
Still, like 200 people in most houses.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. The party got increasingly more intense. The drunker everyone got through the night. At one point, Mailer went into the streets trying to start fights with his guests.
Amazing. Yeah. This actually, I'm like,
that's a vibe.
I'm like, can we make this into a one act? Because I feel like there's
kind of hilarious, actually.
There'll be 6 acts in this play.
Yeah.
As his biographer Lennon wrote of Mailer, he wrote, scuffles kept breaking out as the party wore on. Larry Alson, who was a person that came, remembers that most people kept challenging Mailer to a fight. By 3 a.m., most of the guests had left, and Mailer had insisted on splitting up the remaining members of the people that were there. Like 20 people left at the party, and he's like, I'm going to split you guys up. Here's the people who are supporters of me, and you people are non-supporters of me.
Sounds fun.
And by the end of him splitting up all of his group of friends, everyone is in the non-supporters group except for his paid lived-in servant who was like, or his maid who was like in the supporting group.
Your maid to be involved in this.
Plus it's 3 a.m. I feel like overtime comes into play.
Yeah, she's like, I'm just trying to get home to my kids. Like, I don't want to be here.
She's like, of course I support you.
That to me, it's so much. But also, look, you can't have 200 people in an apartment and not expect fights. Yeah. Like, we are too close together and we're all drinking.
I'm hot.
Like, you just bump one person the wrong way and somebody's going to start a fight. Yeah, we're sweating.
Yep.
It's hot.
Nope.
Okay, we're drinking.
Well, guess what? There's only 20 people left at the party. And now he's got 19 of these 20 people are now non-supporters. His wife included.
Well, I am now.
His wife included in the non-supporters. So now he decides he's going to take to the streets. He's going to go to all of his friends' houses and knock on their door and be like, you support me.
Insufferable. I cannot fucking imagine.
Oh yeah, no, this is real. again, he goes to all the houses of the guests who left, demanding from the pavement that they come out and fight him. Come fight
Amazing.
me.
The anxiety I would have the next day if I pulled something like this. You wake up the next day and you're like, I did what? Oh fuck. Shit. Everybody hates me.
Shit.
And all these people had the good sense to not come down and fight him, of course. But on his way back to his home, he encountered more departing guests because they were leaving. And as they were leaving, he's challenging them again to also fight him.
Somebody's just trying to walk their dog at 3 a.m. They're just like, what? Fight me. What? What are you?
I'm good. When Mailer finally reaches his home around 4:40 a.m., it would seem that the drunken Adele, his wife, started taunting her husband about his desire to become mayor. She was not into it. She was like, really, dude, you're going to become mayor?
She's like, you were right to put me in the non-supporter category. I actually fucking don't like your ass.
Like, I'm not into it, bro.
I've already started the recall group.
Well, a huge row ensued, and Mailer, as quoted in Lennon's book, and finally, in a rage, I took out my penknife and stuck it into her with the idea of, here, you think you're tough? I'm tougher. It was madness. I was pretty drunk at the time and probably on the pot.
On the pot.
Yep.
Well, crossfaded.
We've
talked about it.
We've already talked about this. Bad idea. The idea was not to do her any damage, just give her a little nick or two, you see? Damn it, if I didn't nick her heart.
Imagine talking about it that cavalierly.
Casual.
It's fucking disgusting.
This
guy's a monster.
Casual. He stabs her with his penknife. So his penknife, by the way, is a knife that he carries around with him all the time. It's like just a small, like couple inch blade that he uses to pick out and clean his nails. Imagine how disgusting this knife is. And he now pierces it into her chest and her back. She has 2 knife wounds.
So he stabs her twice. So it's not just like a...
No, oops, you fell into my knife. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a stab.
A piece of shit.
Yeah.
He has 2 guests remaining at the party who take her out of the home and are like, rush her to their place and actually are able to contact a doctor to get her into the hospital. She barely fucking survives. Mm-hmm. He nicked her fucking heart.
I did not expect her to survive, to be honest.
He nicked her heart. She ended up having to go into surgery the following day. Mailer, with a couple of his friends, visit Adele in the hospital where he cried and tried to explain to her that he only did it because I love you.
I want to murder this person.
And to save you from cancer.
What?
Exactly.
Wait.
Yep.
First of all, I should clarify. I don't want to murder him. I'm sure he's dead already. But he does sound fucking
awful.
Awful.
No, he's awful.
What a terrible person.
He says, because I love you and I wanted to save you from cancer. Mailer's visit to Adele in the hospital was not for him to go in and apologize, but he was trying to convince her not to press charges.
Gaslighting.
Yeah. It was there that he, though,
he's running for mayor. He's got to keep that record clean.
Yeah. Can't be murdering people.
Well, that is where he was finally apprehended because regardless of whether she wanted to press charges or not, the police are like, I'm sorry, we have a woman in the hospital who's been stabbed. And
can't go around stabbing people.
Nope.
It's not how this works.
No, we're going to have to take you in. He stabbed her once in the chest, like I said, once the back, and Adele required emergency surgery, like I said. So this is all it's fucking awful. They take Mailer. He was involuntarily committed, though, to Bellevue. So instead of going to the prison, they put him in Bellevue for 17 days. Adele did not press charges, saying that she wanted to protect her daughters. So the idea was basically she thought, well, I can keep this out of the press and out of the public eye and maybe just
I don't blame
let this
her.
blow over. But I mean,
get that. I do. But I'm also like, why'd they put him in Bellevue?
Well, because he also was still ranting about how he was saving his wife from cancer. And at that time too, even his wife was like, maybe we're going a little too hard on the on the alcohol and the
also reefer madness.
Yes,
you know,
this is 1960.
Yeah, really.
He was on the pot.
On the pot.
So,
the pot. Yeah. And when I hear somebody's on the pot, I actually immediately think toilet. But
so do I. Yeah.
This is 1960. So this is the beginning. This is like well before we're starting to see like the implementation of drugs and things like that at a big rate anyway, right? At any rate, he ends up getting receiving basically a suspended sentence of only 3 years of probation in the long short of it. So he does end up spending 17 days in Bellevue.
Did Adele leave his ass? Because
no, not immediately.
Great. Cool.
Not for that anyway. In 1961, Norman met Lady Jeannie Louise Campbell. So that happened in 1960. And in 1961, he meets someone else. They did not get divorced because he stabbed her. They got divorced because he met a new woman. Mm-hmm. Lady Jeannie Louise Campbell was the daughter of the reprobate 10th Duke Argyle and the favorite granddaughter of Lord Beaverbrook. This is literally the description.
Beaverbrook, right?
This is literally the description of anything you find of her. It is this exactly, the daughter of the reprobate's 11th Duke of Argyle and the favorite granddaughter of Lord Beaverbrook.
Nothing like your entire identity and self-worth being tied up into like the men in your life.
And someone's favorite granddaughter.
Thanks so much.
What an arbitrary title.
Meanwhile, like her sister or whatever is like, oh, what am I? Chopped liver?
Exactly. Like, all the other cousins are like, huh?
Yeah.
That's the favorite. Okay.
She had purportedly been linked to JFK, Khrushchev, and Castro. So like, this is like somebody who has quite the reputation. She's been linked to some very serious men. The thing was like, oh, you're literally linked to 3 men on very different sides of all the aisles and reportedly, like I said, all in the same year. So it was like, now that's also speculative. And her daughter was like, that's garbage. Like, it's not true.
Yeah.
So who knows where that even came from. But between 1935 and 1940, Janet was married to Drogo Montague, the second son of the 9th Earl of Sandwich.
Oh, hey, a connection.
Yep.
Connection is made. Still married to Adele at this time. Campbell got pregnant with their daughter Kate in 1962.
These people are so fucking messy. Can we just like, what's going on? Like,
dude, key parties and shit like that used to be.
These people,
yes.
messy mollies.
And that's actually something that I didn't bring up very much because there's so much to go through on this guy. But one of the things that did happen, it seems as though with Adele, is that he forced her to do like key parties and forced her into like multiple 3-ways and things with his friends that she did not necessarily consent to or want to be involved in. So there's a lot.
It's pretty fucking
volatile.
awful.
Yeah, it was very awful. He's a piece of shit. Shortly after his divorce from Adele, though, they end up finally divorcing. He, in the very same year, gets married to Jeannie because he just can't not. He loves getting married. And they also had a kid together. So this marriage also turbulent. Mailer once dangled her from her ankles from a 2nd-story window. And in his novel, An American Dream, he basically titles one of the characters the bitch, and it is meant to be a representation of his wife. The bitch is the wife in that book, and it's supposedly Jeannie.
I hate this person.
I know.
What a piece of shit.
She wrote in her unpublished memoirs that she and Mailer fought so much that, quote, we could empty a room quicker than any couple in New York.
I bet you fucking could. I bet you fucking could. We talked about that many times when you're over at somebody's house and it's like that
Tension City, and you're like
that couple's house where you're like, actually, I think I need to go home and walk the dog. Bye.
But you don't have a dog. I do now. Did I not tell you?
Dog sitting. It's a whole thing. We'll talk about it later. Bye.
Bye.
We would arrive at a party and even the hosts would put on their hats and coats and leave.
Yeah, girl, I would stop inviting you over. I swear to God.
The relationship did not last long either, as Norman, as we know, has a problem with fidelity. And by 1963, they were divorced as well. He had already been starting an affair with the actress Beverly Bentley. She found out about this affair and was like, we're done. And Beverly was like, here I come.
Can't you just find somebody who's like super chill with also having an open relationship? Like, why do you keep like locking in wives who are not into it? Just stop it. Because you know you can't stay faithful unless that's the thing that you enjoy about it.
I think it was just like less prevalent back in the
I mean,
day.
it definitely
Like-
was, but there were women who were okay with it. Like Marlene Dietrich was like famously like, what the fuck ever about that sort of thing. Like just be with people who don't care. I don't understand. Like,
Well, Beverly, his new wife, because now they just got married. He divorces Jeannie and immediately marries Beverly.
I hate him
Beverly
so
and
much.
Norman have 2 sons, Stephen and Michael. Mailer was now moving into film, and he had cast Beverly. Beverly was an actress, and she'd been linked with a lot of famous people as well.
how many kids does he have now?
So 2, 3, 4, 5 kids now.
Okay.
Yes. 5? 5. All right. He ends up with 8 total, so he's somewhere in the mix there.
There you go.
Yeah. Mailer has now they've moving into film. He's casting Beverly into new projects. 3 projects specifically. And actually one of the stories that is talked about pretty regularly is a movie that he filmed with Rip Torn. And in one of the scenes they're supposed to be fighting, and they continue to film while the scene turns from fighting for the scene to a real fucking fight. Rip Torn ends up hitting him over the head with a hammer. He bites Rip Torn's ear. It is like, this guy likes to fight.
Can we also, sidebar, have the conversation about like how much like male actors and directors get to do? Like people are just like, yeah, it's for the art, I guess it's fine.
Right.
And I'm like, do you know if like women on set were fighting like that, do you know how quick their careers would be fucking destroyed?
Right.
Like, no.
You can still find this fight scene, by the way. If all you have to do is look up, like literally just Google this fight between Mailer and
therapy.
Dude, there's so much with this guy. I want you to know, like, I'm literally leaving so much out because I just want to get through the relationships. But there's a lot involved that he's just so in depth. There's so many things. There's arguments on TV with like, just prominent fights, his anti-feminism, his misogyny. It goes on and on. But I want to really focus in on the relationships. So that's why we're kind of leaving some of the stuff out. By 1969, that's actually also when that film came out, this couple already is estranged. So they were married in 1963. By 1969, the couple was estranged. Their divorce would finally happen, but they don't get divorced until September 24th in 1980.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
You get busy.
Honestly,
you get
truly,
tied up.
yeah. Like, and he's done so many at this point. It's like, does it matter? Like, I don't know.
He has moved on though. Don't worry.
Oh, I wasn't.
No, okay, of course. Mailer during this time, where was he? He's living with jazz singer Carol Stevens. They had 2 daughters. Maggie was born in 1971. The 2 would eventually marry in 1980. So what had happened? What happened was he left. They're no longer together. They kind of are trying to do a divorce, but nothing really moves forward. He's already with Carol. He and Carol end up having a kid. They don't have 2 daughters. I'm sorry. I read that and I'm like, that's not right. They have 1 daughter. Her name's Maggie. They're living together in sin and just, whatever, living their lives. But by 1980, he actually wasn't with Carol anymore. He has now crossed into another relationship.
All right, I'm gonna need somebody to put me in charge of the pussy embargo from here on out, because ladies, this man should not be allowed access.
Right.
Maggie was born in 1971. The 2 would eventually marry in 1980 when Maggie was 9 years old. But he and Carol weren't together at the time. The couple only married for one purpose only. And that is because he'd actually already met someone else. He'd now met another person, Norris Church, whom they had a son together as well. Their son was born in 1978. So if that tells you anything, his sons too.
And a lot of overlap.
There's a lot of overlap here.
Very much a Venn diagram with the large overlap.
Big middle part.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me explain. 1971, Maggie's born. He ends up meeting Norris in 1975. So they were together for a few years. The overlap happens. he's still actually technically married to Beverly at this time until 1980. He decides to get divorced not because he wants to be with Carol, but because he wants to be with Norris. But Carol and he have a daughter, so he wants to legitimize their daughter by having been married to his mother. So
the daughter don't care. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like,
so
daughter doesn't give a fuck. Don't do it.
He and Carol go to Haiti, get married for one fucking day. They literally get married on the 7th and are divorced on the 8th.
I cannot imagine a circumstance in which that daughter gives a fuck about that.
Well, I don't know if it has anything to do with, the
inheritance or something,
legalities and things like that. I don't know. But basically, it was something that he felt he needed to do to legitimize her birth and him as her father. So they did it. They both amicably went to Haiti, got married for one day, got a divorce the very next day. And then he comes home and a month later marries Norris. Norris Church is now his 6th wife.
I need people to stop marrying this man. He seems terrible.
He ends up marrying Norris. Norris is bit of a beauty queen. She is from Arkansas. Norris Church was born Barbara Jean Davis.
She changed her name to Norris?
Yes.
Okay.
I'll tell you all about it.
Didn't expect that. I'm not gonna lie to you.
She had actually had a brief fling with Bill Clinton before meeting Mailer. They had met through mutual friends at a book signing party that Mailer was at. She had actually gotten a copy of Marilyn Monroe, the book that Mailer had written about Marilyn Monroe, which I'm sure is not good. And in fact was kind of like, she was like, she had signed up for like a book club, book of the month kind of thing she was like, showed up and she was like, I wasn't going to keep it. But then I found out he was going to be at a friend's party doing a book signing. So I took it with me and I thought, oh, what the heck? I'll just have him sign it. I have it and I'll meet him or whatever. She does meet him and they end up falling for each other very quickly. She's married at the time. And her husband at the time's last name is Morris. They have a child together. She ends up moving her son with him back to Brooklyn. So she's like, deuces, I'm out. When they move to Brooklyn, he's like, you should be a model. You're gorgeous. And so she starts modeling and he's like, you should use the name Norris Church. He gives her that name because Norris was her husband's ex-husband's last name.
How fucking weird is that?
That's
totally
fucking
weird.
Gross.
Church.
What's wrong with you?
Church, because apparently she was a part of a very Christian church growing up.
I hate this person. We look. We have to stop this. Stop fucking men like this. We have to stop. Stop it.
Their relationship, it's so funny because she was like, she kind of had said that she'd always thought that she would be the one he would never cheat on. Well, he does.
Why would you think that?
Yeah.
Why would you think that?
Yeah, exactly.
Why would
I guess because he's old by then.
Don't change
They don't
them.
care.
They don't change.
These men don't care. Like, a man like this does not give a fuck that he is too old and not as good looking as you. Like, he doesn't care. Don't.
No. Yeah, it's because that's not what it's about.
It's not what it's about.
Yeah.
No.
And anyway, they are married in 1980. They do end up staying married for 25 years. He does seem to have found the woman who doesn't care quite as much. Because in the end, their relationship is riddled with just plenty of infidelity. And too, like, he actually had a mistress that he had. Somebody said he's had a mistress for like 65 years. Or
is
some
he still
nonsense.
Alive?
No, he died in 2007. But like, just imagine. Like,
was she also cheating?
She never. The wife Norris. Yeah. They do not say that she was, and I couldn't find anything to say that she had.
Bummer for her.
But yeah. It's
wish
just,
she was.
Yeah, wish you were on that train too. But they ended up staying together, like I said, 25 years together. That's the longest relationship he'd had. But yeah, he's a garbage man, a garbage human being, and had no respect for women. And funny enough, like, in his life, upon reflection later in life, he was like, I was raised by a really strong woman and had an amazing sister. He's like, and kind of, I think, I don't want to say regrets because I won't speak for him in that way. And I can't say, and he never said the words, I regret how I was.
I bet he did
But very much, I think in his later life, he, upon reflection, was like, that was a little silly. Like I said some real dumb shit.
A little silly. I stabbed a woman in the heart. It was a little silly.
The saddest part of Adele's story, the one who was stabbed, is that she was an artist, but basically ended up living in practical poverty for the rest of her life, while Norman Mailer ended up just raking in cash upon cash.
I hate it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's none of it's good. None of it's good. Yeah.
Yikes.
Wow. Eight children,
Bikes.
six wives, and 8 children later.
And then his grandson took a girl to Guitar Center 30 years later.
And that's what we call full circle.
Wow. That would be. Right?
Lord.
That's a good one. Good one.
Jeez.
Yeah. I was like, I don't know. And listen, not that I, if anything, I'm opposed to doing a traditional Tainted Love, but I just thought, gosh, this guy is, wow.
It's a good warning to look out. I mean, that's why the whole saying is out there, like how you got him is how you'll lose him.
No,
kind of
that
thing.
is true.
And it's definitely true. And then, I know we went through it when I moved in with Eric really fast, It really is.
But you didn't marry him really fast.
No, I did not.
You didn't.
No, and I wouldn't. We'll take our time. It's very easy to get out of a lease.
Yeah.
You can deal with that.
It's
Much
different.
easier to move.
It's different.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, look, I didn't say that to be like, I'm opposed to marriage. All I'm saying is that, like, if you know you're not the marrying kind, like if you know that you are with women who aren't going to be happy with you seeing other people, you don't have to marry them. Just don't do it.
It's not about their happiness. Like, I don't think like any of his brain power goes to a woman's happiness at all.
None. Zero.
But he could have kept doing what he was doing, not being married. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you want to keep doing what you're doing, you don't have to get married to anybody. What is the obsession? And I understand that so much of it was just part of the culture at the time, was that's just what you did. But like, man, you're already doing so many things that are counter culture. Just don't.
Yeah.
How about you? How about no?
No.
How about take a pause?
I actually think like Carol Stevens of all of them was the one who probably just could have probably been the one that cared the least in the end. Cause I think that, like, again, they only ended up getting married because of
her daughter
legitimacy and all that. But things are different back then. Maybe, I don't know.
Stop
1980
having kids with trash men too. Look, I know sometimes it just happens. I get it. Like, I'm not here
especially these days.
But I am saying, like, man, this man had a reputation by the end. Like, you can't change him, sis.
Nope. Never
you can't
do.
fix him. Walk away.
What are you guys watching this week?
So I read If We Were Villains, which I really loved. So I don't think I'm a harsh rater when it comes to books.
I think you are a little bit.
I'm harsher than Cassie.
It's true.
But
I'm the harshest.
You're probably the harshest. But
I'm that super soft bed in the.
Yeah. I usually don't give. I've only read 2 books this year that I gave below a 3. So I read Catcher in the Rye was a 2 for me. Then I read another book called The Good Girl by an author I thought I liked, and it was like a 2.5. It was not good for me, but everything else I tend to be in like the 3.5 to 4 range.
Right.
But I don't give a lot of 5 stars out.
Right.
But I really enjoyed.
You 5-starred that.
I loved If We Were Villains.
Oh,
I really
shit,
liked it. If you like the dark academia kind of style of book, it's often compared to The Secret History by Donna Tartt, which is also really good. But that one deals with like Greek students, and this one dealt with Shakespeare students. And I think that my like theater heart just prefers it. So I really enjoyed that read.
Yeah. The last book you recommended to me, fire. So I was like, I actually have been just on a real kick of like listening to books lately.
Yeah,
so
I love listening to audiobooks.
Yeah. Again, it's something that I can seem to kind of work and do, like some of the work that I do, I can listen to books. So, it's been kind of my journey the past like week. So I actually just started a book. That's one in a series. I am following the book list that we talked about because I'm like, what has helped me kind of file
Yeah.
Like, it's found good books for me. Like, I didn't think about reading in that genre. So I was looking specifically for a YA book because it's one of the things.
Yeah.
And I found the series, and the first of the book is called The Inheritance Games.
Oh, I've heard good things.
It's actually really good.
Okay.
It's actually what I will tell you. Have you ever listened to a book? Sometimes you're like, I would probably have enjoyed reading that more.
Yes.
That's how I feel about this so far. And it's good. I will continue to listen to it. I will listen to it to the end. But it is one of those books that I'm like, I feel like I could probably revisit it later.
Well, maybe the next in the series you can actually get it and read it.
Yeah.
That might be good for you.
Yeah. So
Well, and this comes out on the 3rd, it will mean that I only have to wait 48 more hours or a little bit less to watch something that I've been waiting since I was 13 to see.
Yeah.
The Sandman is going to be on Netflix. I read the series once every year and a half, and have since I was a little girl. I'm very, very excited about it. So this week I've just gone through watching the trailer, watching different people react to the trailer, reading what people have written about the trailer.
Watching the trailer with us as we did on our break.
Exactly.
Yeah.
That has literally consumed all my life, and I really can't wait. So
I feel like we should have a full-on watch party.
Well, you know what?
God.
I don't think we can because I think Christina needs to be alone, at least for the first
I
episode.
actually told Eric, I said, because he's like, I'll watch it with you. And I'm like, yes.
Only if you do not talk.
And I was like,
Keep
what
your
we're
fucking
going to
mouth
do
shut.
is we're going to watch an episode, and then we're going to pause before it goes to the next episode, and then we'll discuss what we've watched. And then
I love it that you should have discussion questions.
Oh
In
my
fact,
God. Wait.
Please get out a whiteboard.
Here's your
You're
next fucking podcast right here.
Oh my God.
Oh my
so
God.
funny.
I
swear to
literally,
God.
I was like, I can't
Record it.
I can't just binge it. I have to absorb it. I might need to think about, maybe I need to watch it again, the episode or whatever. If I'm like, we're going to go into this very...
Fucking love it.
I really want you to record yourselves going.
I mean,
through the
I actually
conversation of
kind of do. I think
I
that
do.
it would be, even if it was literally just 20 minutes of you being like, okay, let's discuss. Everybody, welcome to the discussion table.
How do you feel about what we just watched?
it. Wow.
And I'm sure he'll have questions because he's not as involved in the world.
He has no experience.
You know
with
what?
it.
I really do. I think it's a $1 million idea because there are going to be people who are exposed to Sandman for the first time, and they're going to need someone with expertise to break down what they just watched.
I'm
I think
so stoked.
The lifetime fan and the and the boyfriend
and the boyfriend who's doing it because
I'm doing this because I care about you.
He cares about me very deeply. It is a great time to be a high fantasy nerd, though, because we've got Rings of Power and
Dungeons and Dragons.
House of the Dragon the same month. So
Wait, is that the Dungeons and Dragon one?
No, House of the Dragon is the prequel to Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones. Okay.
Yeah.
I was trying to remember which was which. Dungeons and Dragons one though is getting some pretty. They had a whole setup there at Comic-Con. People
Fantasy
are like,
is very mainstream right now. There's so many YA fantasy novels, and I think that has really spurred on
nerdy girl fall, guys.
Yay.
I am in. Let's
I am
go.
so in.
Oh my God.
I just want. Yes, I want socks to my knees.
Yes, sweaters, big sweaters.
I predict goth coming back.
I do too.
I really
too,
do.
actually.
Think
I wore black lipstick to the Belle and Sebastian concert. I'm ready.
Yep.
I think casually wearing black lipstick out
play for.
in public is
goth girl
I'm for
fall.
it. Let's go.
I'm fucking in, dude.
Let's go. Can we? Oh. Never mind. I won't say that. I'll save that for when we're off mic. It's very mysterious. It has to do with something very exciting that we're going to bring up.
Yes,
point?
yes.
I don't know.
I don't
yet.
think so.
I don't know.
Not yet.
All
Not
right,
yet.
all
We
right.
will for the next episode. We will definitely make an announcement. So, yes, you'll definitely want to tune in for next week when we have a lot of great stuff to share with you. But if you want to reach out to us in the meantime, if you got bad date stories, if you want to talk about Sandman, go to our one-stop shop of a website. It's myworstdatepodcast.com. And we love you so much.
Cheers.